everybody, this is Jose from Florida Hood Vlogs. We're here on the island of Sanibel, and I just want to give you guys a quick report. As you can see, the beaches here are closed. There's cones, fences, and yellow tape keeping all the beaches closed. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Jose from Florida Hood Vlogs. Welcome to part 2 of our road trip. Sorry I took a few days to get it out. I've been really busy doing stuff around the house. I think we're all ready for a little road trip since we're all locked up at home. Just use some imagination, just put yourself out here. Sanibel Island is in Lee County, Florida. It's a really big island surrounded by amazing beaches and really nice tropical cottages. It's really a place for the wealthy. It's not affordable. It's really expensive out there. Some of the best white sand beaches and some of the best shelling in the state of Florida. That's what attracts tourism to Sanibel Island. They also have a really nice lighthouse. So if you're looking for a tropical island vacation, Sanibel would probably be it. Now, the inner part of the island is, for the most part, a bunch of dry mangroves. It's very unattractive to me. The speed limit on most of the island is something like 35 miles an hour. And there are some really, it's a big island, there's some long stretches that will probably bore the crap out of you, especially with the 35 mile per hour speed limit. I personally like to see more than just mangroves when I go on a road trip. But if you've never done it, it may be good for you. Maybe you just need that quiet and tranquility and just get your mind off of everything. I like country roads, I like North Florida, big oak trees, horse country. That's what I like in a road trip. But, I mean, that's the thing about Sanibel Captiva is you got to drive through a fairly boring stretch of roads to get out there. It's a nice place once you're there, but I personally don't like these long stretches of absolutely nothing. People have really lost their minds lately. I had a video I did in Estero Bay, and I took the video down because we received some threats. I had to contact the sheriff's office, and I don't know where it's going to go from there. I don't really care. I can't really talk about the incidents too much because I don't know where it's going to go, but pretty much people have lost their minds, and they have more time than they've ever had on their hands, and they don't know how to manage their free time. People are depending on a schedule for whatever their life was before all this situation, and now that they have all this free time, they just don't know what to do with their time, and it's really interesting just to see how people are acting. I'm really disappointed in the human race for the first time in my life. I'm just not happy with where we're at. Mostly people have just become angry and bitter, and I'm just not happy with where we're at right now. People have really gone in the wrong direction, I think, and we don't on this channel talk about politics. We don't on this channel talk about beliefs. I try to keep my videos about travel, and we do talk about a lot of social issues just to reflect on human nature and stuff like that. But right now, we're going to have to just, people are so wound up with whatever they got going on, whatever they believe, whatever they think, whatever they're trying to do. People are so into themselves, people are so aggressive and hostile that maybe for a while it's probably better just to lay off these topics because people don't know how to see other people's points of views. It seems like we live in a world where people don't understand that it's okay to disagree. I say this all the time on my channel. It is completely okay not to agree on a subject. If there's something we don't agree on, I have a point of view that you don't like, you don't have to unsubscribe. You don't have to send me hate mail because you don't agree with my opinion. That's just my opinion. We all have an opinion. How can we all think the same way? And how can you want to only associate with people who think exactly the same exact thing you do. We're all going to have different opinions on different things. So it is definitely okay not to agree with what I think. And our expectation for other people just isn't realistic. I'm a person that likes to do the right thing. However, we are in a stage in time right now where doing the right thing can actually become dangerous to you because people don't want to do the right thing. People want to do whatever they want. They don't want to hear anybody else's opinion, and they definitely don't want to be exposed for doing things that are incorrect. They don't want somebody else who has a moral compass to tell them, hey, what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is selfish. And that's what I do a lot of times, and people don't want to hear it, and people are willing to be violent and hostile and aggressive, and I don't need that in my life. I live a very peaceful life. These days at home, I've actually gotten used to the routine already. The first few days, I will admit, were very difficult, but I'm absolutely used to it. In fact, I haven't even been uploading YouTube videos because I've been so busy working on my yard the last few days that I haven't even thought about getting on YouTube and making videos. Change is not bad. The problem is that people are so dependent on a schedule created by their bosses, created by their life, wife, kids, and schools, that they think that's the regiment they have to live by, and anything that deviates from that regiment, they completely attack it. Change is not bad. A lot of great things can happen from change. Change is great. You know, it lets you see things from a different perspective. I've started to get used to my new schedule, my new life that it is now with this quarantine. And I'm actually starting to like it a lot more than the life I lived before. Even though I was doing a lot of stuff, I was traveling a lot, can't travel as much. I'm stuck at home pretty much, but I've kind of got used to it, and it's a routine for me now, and I've made the best out of the situation. The world has changed a lot, and it's never going to go back to being whatever it was before. A lot of things are going to change. A lot of things that change are going to remain. A lot of stuff is going to have to change. You know, these situations bring change, and the world's never going to be the same. It's kind of like September 11th changed the world. Never, ever was it again the same. And this situation is also going to change the world. You know, people are using Zoom. They're using a lot of other applications. And a lot of conferences and meetings and stuff that we're used to doing in person are going to become online. It just makes more sense. It takes less time. Sometimes as humans we don't like change. We're scared of change. We fight back because of it. But the world's going to change. You think about schools, for example. Now, a lot of people don't think this is going to happen, but I can totally see this happening. Schools need a $50 million piece of real estate, 100 employees, 100 buses. You can eliminate all that and have like a teacher from home with a Zoom app taking care of all her students, you know. For a lot of small country places where there's not a lot of money moving around, I'm not going to say it's going to happen in all the cities. I'm not going to say this is going to happen right away, but it really doesn't make sense that you need $100 billion, you know, for a school district. I don't know how much money it costs to move these schools, but you got buildings, you got employees, you got buses, you got so much. You got to have security for those schools. You got to have security systems for those schools. You got to have all that. And that can all be eliminated, and maybe the parents are going to have, you know, and it may not happen for all school, you know, maybe like from middle school forward, you know, or maybe from like 6th to 7th grade where the kids are old enough to where they could probably stay home or something, or, you know, they're a little bit more mature. They're not little children. They're kind of almost young adults. Maybe at that age they can start doing their homeschool, you know, and a homeschool kind of more like an online school altogether. Who knows? The world's going to change. And in a lot of places, it's going to change. It's going to have to change because it just doesn't make sense. So change is for the benefit of the human race. Sometimes we're going to fight back. We're not going to want that change. But things are definitely going to change. Companies are going to change. Probably the schools are going to change. And a lot of the things that we do in regular life are going to change. It doesn't take as much. You know, change isn't bad. Like before, the reason I'm moving off the road, I think there's a bicyclist. Yes, okay. I was just making sure I didn't lose my mind. I'm like, why is Jose driving on the wrong side of the road? Okay, there's a guy on a bike. Well, anyways, a lot of things are going to change. You know, back in the day, a trip from LaBelle, Florida to Fort Myers used to take 3 days. You know, you had to camp out. Now I can go to LaBelle, Florida and come back in 2 hours with a truck and bring back or take materials as much as I want. So change is good. It makes the world move faster, and you have to adapt to technologies. And I think as a human race, we're kind of delayed on technology. The technology exists to make our lives better, yet we're focused on things that really take up a lot of time. I think the school systems are already completely outdated. The technology exists to make so many things in our life so much easier and better, to give us more free time. Some people aren't going to want to see change, but let's be honest, transportation has changed, technology has changed, and it's going to change our lives. And, maybe things that we're used to doing in person are going to have to be online for a very long time. And some of those things we're going to realize after a while, hey, this is more practical to do it this way than it is to do it the old way. And I think school is probably going to be one of those things where, and people say, oh, we got to have two people working in the household. If you have kids, you don't really need two people working for a household. That's just an idea that we believe is that way. Because people have two kids and then they want this $600,000 house and they want this 4-car garage and they want a brand new SUV and they want this and that. Your family doesn't need all that crap, That's all extra baggage that you don't need. So people's definition, and if you don't agree with me, you don't have to, but to me it's all extra baggage that you think you need but you really don't. In other words, your definition of providing for your family is really not what you actually need for your family. It just seems like it's really beyond what you actually need. So a lot of families now who are living on 2 salaries to keep up completely ridiculous lifestyles, to be honest, because it's way more than you need from a material point of view. Now that you don't have 2 incomes, and who knows, you may not be able to have 2 incomes for a year or 2. Who knows how long a world situation like this could go for. It could be gone tomorrow, and we could be back to normal. But this could drag on for more than months. This could go into years. We don't know that yet. And if it does, you don't have those 2 incomes anymore to live that lifestyle you had before. So it's time to make some changes, and those changes are not necessarily going to be bad. I've been lucky that I've lived a really simple life, from my housing to transportation, everything. We keep it simple. So now that the world's turned upside down, we don't have as much to worry about. Now, if I was driving brand new cars and had a mortgage because I wanted a big giant house out in the estates or something like that on 5 acres, then... Alright guys, so we're on Sanibel Island. Mostly tourist and secluded little residential properties here. If you were very wealthy person, maybe a celebrity, you just want a place where you can hide, this would probably be it. Just a very secluded island, not too much going on. Sanibel is definitely for the wealthy. There's no hoods around here. This island is pretty much for the wealthy. Very secluded type of place. There's only one way in, one way out to the whole island. And you're not just going to drive out here to drive out here. There's a lot of tourism in the area, but the houses are very kind of set aside, off and out of the way neighborhoods, There's an old jet ski. An old lawnmower, but I don't know if it's garbage or not. I don't need more junk. I got enough stuff already. Usually the picking, if you like picking junk, I don't know what the garbage day is on this island, but it's got to be good out here. Rich people get rid of really good stuff, Like that one pile I just pulled up to over there was a bunch of trim on the floor. It's probably $300 or $400 worth of trim if you're doing some window trim or some other type of trim work. That's some good stuff. I don't know what property values are on this island. I'm gonna guess at least $500,000 and up, probably. I haven't really looked into Sanibel. I know it's expensive here. Alright guys, so this is the boring stretch of the island. Once you get on Sanibel, there's a few little things. Then if you're heading to Captiva, you got a long, boring road that looks just like this. And it seems to never end, and the fact that the speed limit is 35 miles an hour makes for a fairly boring, long ride. So this is why I don't like Sanibel. I like road trips where you can see stuff the whole way. And this kind of becomes a very boring stretch of road on your way to Captiva. It's long, it takes forever, and there's not much to look at other than electrical posts and the yellow lines that divide the highway. Alright, so this is Captiva. On the left is the ocean. And on the right are some resorts and some very fancy yacht clubs. And it's a really nice drive. This is probably one of the nicest drives in Florida. This little stretch here on Captiva. It's comparable to Southwest Miami. The only difference is that Southwest Miami doesn't have the beaches, so it's that much more stunning, you know. This reminds me a lot of the Florida Panhandle. Like from Mexico Beach, where you got on the left side of the beach, you know, and on the right some nice houses. This was like Mexico Beach, but we have palm trees here and coconut trees. It's not that tropical up that way, so this is one of the nicest drives in the state of Florida. Unfortunately, driving through Sanibel is boring as crap. There's nothing but trees there. It's a boring drive, but once you're here, it's majestic. I mean, nothing but the open ocean, white sand beaches, and pretty houses. Now we're on to the main area of Captiva, which is like the residential part, the little town of it, you know. I'm gonna see if I can find a spot to raise the drone from. It's very windy today. I gotta be really careful. When I first got the drone, I wouldn't even have thought about flying it on a windy day like today, but kind of getting used to it. I don't know why is it so strong? I don't know why the exposure is so high right now on this camera. It's really high exposure there. I don't know what's the problem is. Okay. I just turned off the auto exposure. I don't know why the exposure was so high. Oh, nice little cottage there. I guess this is about it, though. There's not too much on this island, really. And I kind of need an open place to raise the drone. This is like the 6th Maserati I see today. There's a lot of Maseratis here. Maserati Italiano. I need an open place. I don't know how far on. I don't know why the exposure is so high. Last time the exposure was this high on the camera was right before it went to crap. Right before the memory card went to crap. My other memory card, right before the memory card went to crap on me, the exposure on it went really high. So I hope it's not the same thing again. So I don't know if it's this memory card or what, but I don't like the exposure being so high. It's ridiculous. Dang it, GoPro. I need to find a place where I can raise the drone. And here's the other thing I don't know about Captiva is I don't know how far north you can go before it all becomes private. Like here it says pretty much road closed. This is a post office here. Road closed. You can't go that way. This will be a good place to do it. The post office and a bank. I don't know if this is a smart idea or not. It says 15-minute parking. Postal Patreons only. Am I a postal Patreon? I don't think I am. Alright guys, so I finally got that stimulus. Me and Katie got $1,200 apiece. That's $2,400. First thing we did was pay our bills. We paid all our bills to the next month. So that's a month of not having to worry about anything. And we also bought a few things on eBay that we needed or we think would probably be hard to get if we needed them with stores being closed. So we did a little bit of shopping, nothing extravagant. We're talking socks, shoes, shorts, stuff like that you actually need. I was able to buy a box of gloves because you guys saw the really high criticism that I received for not wearing gloves on my videos that I think got 24,000 views about me shopping at Publix, out of all things, right? You know, like, type of video that when I first did it, I was like, I'm just gonna watch a video of me shopping at Publix. 24,000 people in 2 weeks? Okay. So anyways, yeah, I wasn't able to get gloves, and people called me as evil person who's gonna kill the masses because I'm not wearing gloves because I breathe through my gloves, through my hands, right? So anyways, I was able to buy a pair of gloves on the internet, on eBay, $35. Yes, $35 for a box of 100 blue gloves. I think that's a little steep. I also ordered a mask. The mask sold out. I thought I had bought it. Apparently somebody beat me to it in a matter of seconds because I thought I bought it. And then it never came through, so I was like, oh crap, not available anymore. So somebody else beat me right to it. So I was like, well, I gotta find some type of mask because I have one that I use for fishing that I use on my videos and stuff, and I use it when I go out, but it's a very thin mask. So I found a heavier mask with a little built-in respirator. It's a ski mask. Now, usually when you're walking into a store wearing a ski mask, something very nasty is about to happen. I don't know. I guess I can go bike riding with my ski mask. You're not allowed to wear a ski mask in Florida. It's a law. First of all, there's no reason for you to wear a ski mask in Florida unless you live in West Palm Beach. In which case, hey, that's just what happens there. Not saying that it's not illegal, because it is illegal to wear a ski mask out in public in Florida, but you could probably get away with it nowadays. So if you've wanted to carry out your fantasy of walking into a store wearing a ski mask, this would be the time to do it, because I don't think you'd know. I mean, I've seen it. I've been in public and somebody wearing like a full-on ski mask, and it just looks completely not out of place, I guess. It's a weird world we're living in. And that's still a law. It's not like that law went away, but it's not really being enforced right now. So I got my full-on ski mask. I'm not going to go to Publix wearing it, but I guess I could go for a bike ride wearing it, and it wouldn't be a problem. Also, when I wear my ski mask, I'm going to wear my work shirts that have my phone number on them, because the deal with the ski mask law in Florida is that you can't be hiding your identity. But if you're wearing a t-shirt that has your phone number on it, like my company t-shirts where my phone number's on it, really big letters, you can see clearly that it's a work shirt, I guess in that scenario you're not hiding who you are because my shirt would have my phone number. So that would probably be okay. Maybe not inside of a gas station, that'd probably creep them out, but you know, I wouldn't wear it to like Publix. It would just be a little bit over the top. But or would it be? I don't know. I guess I could wear the ski mask and just cut the top off of it where you can still see my eyes and hair. I don't know. That's a very good question. Could you get away with wearing a ski mask out in public nowadays? We got a phone call. Alright. Ooh, it's a FaceTime. I gotta let you guys go. Alright, so I have a showing today for the property. I haven't had it showing in I don't know how long. So it's the first showing in a very long time. We'll see what happens. I'm not really, anxious about it because how has this been on the market so long that it's like, it doesn't even matter anymore. I don't know if I'd want to leave Naples now in the middle of this situation, because I'm kind of familiar with my environment, and moving now would be really scary. Moving to a new place, I would have to start a company right away, do a lot of stuff, and right now the environment's not really gonna lend itself to that very well. So, and actually, I'm glad things didn't work out. Were us moving and in the middle of this situation, like it would have been a very tough time for us. If we had been in the middle of this situation in a new town where we didn't know anything. Here in Naples, this is my backyard. I know everything. I know how to make money here. I know how to live. Everybody knows me. I know everybody, and that's just kind of it's in my environment pretty much. But with all that said, it's really like our dreams have been put on hold. We really wanted to start a new life somewhere, start a new business. We're ready for the next page of our lives, but you don't really get to pick where life goes. So I don't know if I would feel the same way about moving now as I would 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. It's been a long process trying to sell this property because the banks won't finance it, and it's got to be a cash buyer. But with the road situation today, maybe somebody will want to buy my house because it's more affordable. Where like 3 months ago, people would want to finance a $400,000 house. Now they may want to buy my house because it doesn't have a mortgage and they don't have to worry about anything. So maybe now that there's a crunch in the whole road economy, a property like mine would become much more attractive because it's one of the most affordable places in Naples, pretty much. So I don't think there's too many people now looking to finance a house. Now they're probably looking to buy something outright. So actually, this could actually really help me sell my property. And with the current ward situation, I may not even buy right away. I might just rent for 6 months and see if it keeps getting worse. And if it keeps getting worse, it could be a good time for me to sell, basically. But who knows? You can't. I've told people you can't really make long-term decisions based on short-term situations. So, a lot of times people make life-changing decisions over momentary situations. So that's definitely not what we're trying to do. We've kind of been thinking about moving since 2016. 2015, we were looking at moving into North Florida. It's just it's a place to live is a place to live. Like this was our first home, and sometimes with first homes, you get so carried away with I don't know. You don't understand. Like a house is just a place to live. That's all it is. It could be rented. It could be bought. It could be free. For some people. All it is a place to live. And because this was our first home, you become emotionally attached to it in a way that's not really healthy for you from an economical point of view. We're young, and young people make mistakes. And I'm not saying I've lost money, but I've definitely missed out on a lot better opportunities. So it's good. It's a learning experience, and you have to grow up and make decisions that are important in your life. Decision-making ability, the lack of making decisions is sometimes a person's biggest failure, is not making a decision. So lessons learned. I guess my lesson learned is I don't ever want to own a mobile home again. I want to own a piece of real estate that a bank will finance, concrete block structure that a bank will finance. So that was a huge mistake, because if you want to get out of it, then you can't get out of it. But that's good, because it's our main home, and it gives us a lot of time to think about what we really want to do. Time is not always a bad thing. It's good to have time on your side. And then a lot of people get angry. They go wild on my channel. You said you were going to move out of Naples 2 years ago, and you're still there. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have any debt. I could be here for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. I guess they think that I live my life the way they live. Get out of the road, you dang. Get out of the road, dang pelican on the dang road, man. I guess they think that I live my life the way they live their life. Kitty, you wouldn't believe this. There's a dang pelican on the middle of the road. Crazy. Dang old pelican, man. So, I don't live my life with that kind of rush. Like, I don't have that rush, so I don't have to go anywhere. It's like incredible how people just like think, you have to get out of here. You said you don't like it, you need to move out. If you don't like it, move out. you don't pay my bills, so why do you care if I move out, I've always told people, if you don't like me living in Naples,
Buy the house.
buy the house.
It's that simple.
The realtors here suck. And I let people know that they shouldn't trust them. I've seen on my timeline on Facebook like 3 different realtors, and here's what their ad goes like. Are you paying $1,800 for rent? You can pay $1,800 for mortgage. Why throw your money away paying rent when you can pay for mortgage? That is so deceitful, and there's so many realtors doing that. It's not 1 or 2. It's a very deceitful practice because I am a homeowner, and the cost of homeowning is ridiculous. If you're paying $1,800 rent and the air conditioner breaks, that's the landlord's problem. If a hurricane rips the roof off of your house, that's the landlord's problem. If neighbors that are horrible move in next door, you're renting, you can just rent somewhere else. That's the homeowner's problem. If I own a house and my neighbors move across the street and I don't like them for some reason, they're a nuisance, guess what? That's the homeowner's problem. It's not the renter's problem. You can go rent somewhere else when your contract's over. The homeowner has to deal with that. And it's very deceitful to tell people that paying $1,800 in mortgage is the same as paying $1,800 in rent. It is not. I've spent the last 3 days of my life digging holes in my yard, moving trees around, picking up garbage, paying people to help me clean up this property. Because if I do it myself, I'd be here for a month. So if I can pay somebody to help me get this property in order, it's essential, basically. I need to get it done. It's not the same thing to be a homeowner as it is to be a renter. And the notion that people are spreading this around to try to sell houses to people, and these are not like, oh, you have a down payment. These are like, oh, we'll give you the down payment for you. How does a bank finance? Like, what bank gets behind that? I really would like to know who owns these banks that gets behind these loans, because it's the stupidest thing you could come up with. You're going to sell a house to somebody who doesn't have a down payment and who was a renter and who thinks renting is the same thing as owning a property, and that the realtors that are spreading this nonsense is actually the worst part about it. These realtors are completely ruthless, and they're looking for victims, and people are making themselves really easy victims to these scams. It is not the same thing to rent for $1,800 as it is to have an $1,800 mortgage. If you don't pay your mortgage, you lose your house. If you rent and you don't pay your rent, you get evicted. It's not the same thing. Well, anyways, I always tell people, caution with dealing with realtors. I've had a few people on my channel tell their experiences along the lines of they were trying to buy a house here in Florida, and their realtor was trying to shove a house down their throat that was way out of their league. Basically, if you buy a $300,000 house instead of a $200,000 house, that's $6,000 more that realtor's making. So if he can put in $100,000 more house than you can afford, he's making $6,000. He doesn't care if you can keep up that mortgage or not. And they're very likely, and I'm not saying that all realtors are that way. That's not what I meant. There are some good realtors who are very ethical about what they do. But the amount of realtors that are unethical and they're preying on people, and even their marketing schemes are based around deception, clearly, telling people that renting is the same thing as homeowning. It's really not. Even people like Dave Ramsey, who advocate homeownership, will tell you that renting and owning are 2 different beasts. So if you're still in that panic mode, you're still in that fear mode, I want to just let you guys know that I personally got past it. You know, like, I focused on my lawn, my property. You know, I kept looking forward. You know, not knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow. I mean, life is unpredictable either way. You know, like, so many people are afraid right now, and understandably for some degree. But life is unpredictable. You could leave on your way to work one day, and that could be your day, you know? So, life is unpredictable regardless. So, worrying about tomorrow isn't going to make your life better today. I was personally worried, concerned for a little bit, but there's nothing you can do by worrying. There's a lot you can do by being proactive. So, I had about 70 banana trees spread throughout the property. But bananas grow in clusters, you know. One banana turns into like 12 bananas, and then you got to dig them up and separate them because they don't really grow good unless they have a lot of space. So all my bananas were on the edge of the property up against fences, and they weren't really growing the way they're supposed to. Now I spread them out. Yeah, they're taking up a lot more space on my property, but I don't really need that much space. You know, since we thought about moving, we kind of started cleaning up the property and getting rid of garbage, and we got nothing on the property. Our property, like, if we moved right now, we could pack up in probably like a day. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have that much stuff here. Before, I had been saving all types of stuff laying around that I've been saving, trying to sell. Now, if something doesn't sell, I just, because I do a lot of selling. I have a junk removal business. I sell a lot of stuff, and I'm a hustler. I always keep sell, buy, trade stuff. But I got rid of it. If it doesn't sell like in a 2-week period, out by the curb. I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff that doesn't usually, you know, I could probably sell it, but it just takes up space, time. The property's clean, so I have a lot of space. So I'm going to spread out the banana trees. That way they can give me a lot of fruit. I'll show you guys a short clip here. It's irrelevant to this video that we're watching, but I'll give you guys a small clip just to show you guys what I do with my bananas. Here's some plantains that we made today. So one of the great things about Florida, in particular South Florida, where I live now, is that you can grow bananas, mangoes. My mango tree right now looks amazing. I got one mango tree right now that has about 100 mangoes. I mean, love it. Maybe I should make a video to show you guys my trees and stuff in the future. If you guys want to see that, comment. Let me know if you want to see that. So yeah, if you want to see that, just ask me for it, and if you got enough people ask me for it, I'll make it. I'll show you guys my bananas, my mangoes, my whole property, all the trees. That's one of the best things about Florida, especially here, southern Florida, man. I can grow anything I want down here. As far as tropical fruits go, you can grow lychee, you can grow mangoes, avocados, even stuff like soursop that's really hard to grow. My neighbor next door has avocado and soursop. Both are struggling because of, I don't know why the last few years we haven't got fruit out of her trees. And her trees are right on the property line, so even though they're hers, there's branches that pull into my property, and we're cool. She said if the trees come into my property, I can either trim them or I can eat the fruit, so I eat the fruit, obviously. So it's really nice that here in South Florida you can do that, and that's one of the things that makes Florida different than other states. It's just that you can grow a lot of tropical stuff. I mean, there's a lot of good things about Florida. I don't ever see myself not living in Florida. I love Florida. I mean, I could see myself in Alabama or Georgia, but that's pretty close to Florida. If I had a lot of money one day, I would maybe consider a property out west, but I mean, come on, that's way out of my league. I'm happy to be where I'm at in Florida, enjoy the sunshine weather. I know one of my subscribers was just telling me about how it's still snowing in Ohio. I'm like, what, snowing? It's hot already here in Florida. It's still snowing up there in some places, so But keep your focus, people. Keep your head on your shoulders. I've become adjusted to my new schedule. At first, it was very difficult being at home and not being able to travel. I'm getting used to it, and I'm making the best out of my time. I'm getting my property in order. I've ordered enough stuff on eBay to keep me busy for a while. I've ordered corn seeds, pepper seeds, basil seeds. I'm going to start making my own garden, and that's going to keep me busy for a while. Eating a tomato that you grew yourself or a pepper that you grew yourself doesn't feel the same as eating a pepper you bought from Publix, or an avocado that you paid $4 a piece for at Publix, but you still get it because you want it. Man, Publix is expensive, but I still shop there. Yes. I should probably get Publix to sponsor me on this channel at this point. Oh man, I'm gonna get Publix, sandals, and sand to sponsor my channel. But no, I don't want to get commercialized. But seriously though, like growing your own stuff makes a difference. It feels different. It is different. And I got some mangoes coming soon. I can't wait. Love Florida. Thank you guys so much.